Welcome to the Pretty Red ENT Show. It's your girl, Goddess Nikita, aka Pretty Red ENT. So let's get into it. I think today I kind of want to talk about love spells, and it's important, like, to let y'all know my opinion. Some people be wanting to know, like, my opinion, how I feel about it. You know me, I'm silly, I'm goofy, but I do be making logical sense. Okay, like I got some stories to tell y'all, but I also want to make sure that y'all know, like, y'all not really supposed to do that, and it's kind of a waste of time. Okay, I have some friends, and I have like some of my clients and stuff. Like when they buy my candles, I have like a disclaimer. Like when they get my candles up, like, listen, you cannot, in any manner, when you light my candles, okay, you go to a sensitive goddess, you order you a candle. My whole thing is you cannot light my candle to do a love spell on anyone else besides yourself. Okay? That's one. Two, you cannot light my candle to do any harm towards me or anybody else. If you do this, it will backfire on you. And that's just a disclaimer. Like, I shouldn't, if I tell you not to do that, I'll be like, don't do this. If this is the one spiritual law that you have, is don't light my candle with ill intentions. If you're going to do a love spell on yourself. Don't do it on anyone else. And if you don't do any harm to anyone, not even to yourself. So don't light my candles with an intent to harm yourself or anyone else. So if you light my candle for anything else, and then you get mad at me because what you doing is backfiring and it's going out of control. I told you when you first lit my candle what not to do it for. That's my disclaimer. Like, my disclaimer on the bottom of the candle says, do not light this candle for a love spell or intent to harm me or anyone else. I don't care what's going on. When I make my candles, I make it in a certain way. You cannot use my candles for no love spell. So if you think that, oh, it worked for a second, yeah, wait till you realize what's really about to happen. And don't be mad at me because I told you not to do that, because I don't believe in that. So sometimes, like, y'all got to understand the things that you buy behind people. If they don't believe in something and you're using their products, why do you think it's not working? Because they don't believe, the creator of this product don't believe in that. So it's not going to work because they don't believe in that. So you can never be mad at that at all. Okay. Now, number two is I don't believe in love spells because I feel like love should be real. It's authentic. No one should come in between you, love, and the universe. Okay. Like, real talk. Like, no love should ever, like, be to the point where you're super obsessed with me because there was a love spell done. Not that, like, it's authentic and you really in love with me, but you can tell when men have a love spell on them. And I'm telling you, like, if you are a person, you see stuff like I do, you're spiritually inclined, you done unlocked your spiritual gifts, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you can see certain stuff. Like, if somebody has a spell on them or whatever thing, you can look at this person and tell that. And it'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm like, should I help him up? Should I die? Like, and I was like, so, and you could tell, like, even when somebody's in a love spell, how they talk about the person that put that love spell on them. And I'm telling you, the one thing I learned about that is, like, it's crazy. And it's kind of obsession. And it's like, what's really going on? Like, is this real? Like, somebody really wasted their magic and did a love spell and it worked. And you don't have $1 million? You did a whole love spell without $1 million? What? No. There's no way you did this love spell and don't have $1 million. I can't. I can see you doing like a spell, like, hey, I just want to meet somebody. Like, I can see you doing like, hey, can I like, but you can light a candle and do a self-love spell on yourself, or just light it just to come be and work with your self-love, right? Imagine you doing that at the same time, and then you start to love on yourself more. So you start to do your hair, do your nails, you start to dress yourself up more, you start to work out, you start to catch your groove back. Next thing you know is you're starting to go outside. Maybe you've been inside the house. Maybe you ain't want to go outside. Now you're starting to come outside. So what does this look like? And what does it sound like? It sounds like, oh, you finna meet somebody, right? Like you wanted to find love, and so you found love, right? Like at the same time. So some people don't look at that like that. Like, yeah, you could be in your moment, or you can't. But if you do a self-love candle, eventually it gets you to your love. It just gets you to teach you to love yourself more. The more you love yourself, the more someone else can love you. They can't really love you if you ain't loving yourself. And that's real talk. Like, most people don't understand that. If you do not love yourself, how can you expect someone else to love you? That's not fair to them to love you if you don't love yourself. So I think that's the proper step to go first, is self-love, and everything else will fall back. Everything else will fall. But sometimes we fall out of love with ourselves. So yeah, I think a love spell should be done on yourself if you really want to get to love yourself and get to know you and different things like that in different areas and experience love for you. All the love you give out, if people not give it back to you, pull your love back and give it to yourself. Watch how amazing your skin will glow. Your cells start listening. Your cells will start to light up. Your cells will start to grow. You want to know why? They will start to grow, because you started to love on yourself correctly. And people don't understand, like, bro, I used to always, before I like started like doing like my research on spirituality and different stuff like that, I'm like, man, the one thing I used to love about Pretty Radiant T, if there was a mirror, I was in it. I don't care where I was at. Before I had my son, if there was a mirror, I was in it and I was dancing. That is called self-love. I'm loving on myself, dancing. Like, I ain't got to dance with no male in the club. As long as I dance with myself in the mirror, I was cool. Like, yes, I love me. I love Pretty Radiant T. I love Goddess Nikita, like, period. Every day, all day, unfiltered or filtered. I still love me in every single form, in every phase. So saying that is letting y'all know like a little things too about me. Like, I really believe in real love. Okay. Like, I believe love yourself first, and then love will find you outside of there. Once you start loving yourself, the love that you want will come to you. You ain't even got to search. It'll be right there to you at your door. Knock, 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 knock. So I don't believe in love spells. I don't believe that they should be done. Now, what happens if you feel like you has somebody did a love spell on you? You're kind of like, I don't love this dude, but I can't leave him. I don't know why. Like, sometimes to the point it makes me obsessed. And it's like, what? Because a lot of times people don't know some of these guys be doing love spells too. Don't ever think it's just women out here doing love spells. Oh, please believe it is not only women. It is definitely men. And some men don't even know that they be doing it. And that's the crazy thing. Like, they don't pay attention. They're not really in tune to know exactly what they doing, but they do it spiritually. Get what I'm saying? So it's like their physical need to catch up with their spiritual, so that way they can have a conversation. That's that yin and yang balance. So a lot of the guys be doing love spells, just like the women. Some women use sexual, they have sex with you at a certain time of the moon phase to try to tie you to them. And so you start to really be obsessed with this woman. You don't know why. Like, that's because she did a love spell with you. Now, some people might be like, I remember this girl, she's like, bro, I feel like you did a love spell on him. I like, did a love spell on who? And that's my whole question. I'll be like, who? You think I'm going to waste my time to do a love spell on someone and I don't have $1 million yet? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, you must be talking to somebody else that's doing that, because I actually not going to do that if I don't have $1 million. It don't make no sense. I'm not going to interfere in nobody's love life, because that's actually really code against universal law. Like number 101, like number one, like love should be natural. Love is real. Love is the only thing that's true. Love is the only energy that makes sense. But why would I waste my time and do that? And I always tell people, like, bro, like, I really I'm an old school romantic person. Like, I love romance. Like, if I'm in a car with a guy, open my door. A lot of y'all guys, y'all kind of forgot about that one. You ain't gonna make sure your woman got in the car? All right? Because please believe, if she was dating another man, guess what's gonna happen? That man's a man, he's gonna get out and open her door. There you go. You just lost your woman because you ain't open up her door. She shouldn't have to touch any doors while she with you. Some people are like, no. The moment I got to open up my door, we friends. We're buddies. I'm treating you like treat my brother. What's up? You don't even get to soft me. You get to like, what's up, bro? What you doing? And then sometimes you get those one guys who real cocky, and it was like, okay, so you don't want to open my door. Let me give you what I want to receive. So I'll go open your door every time you get out. How you gonna feel? What that's gonna make you feel like? That's gonna put you in your divine feminine energy, ain't it? And a lot of times y'all guys be speaking about all these females, they so in the divine masculine energy. They're in the divine masculine energy. Oh, they're so masculine, they're so aggressive. When's the last time you took your time out to de-escalate the problem? When the last time you opened up a girl's door? Open up a woman's door? And so I remember one day me and my guy cousin, we was talking. And I was saying to him, I was like, cuz. He's like, cuz, I was like, what you want to love? So me and him was just talking because, I got guy cousins. I like to talk to them to get like a guy's point of view. And the thing that he told me, he was like, I think what I want to do, I really want to settle down. I ain't got no kids. I want a girl who ain't got no kids. He described exactly what he wanted. I was like, so how many girls are you dating right now? Now, I didn't say my cousin's name, but he was dating like 10 girls at one time. And I was like, so basically you playing with all these girl feelings. And he was like, nah, I like 2 of them for sure. But I don't know which one I want. It's just the one girl, I feel like she's very masculine. But I like her. But she's masculine. And I was like, what do you mean by masculine? Like, he's like, well, she don't allow me to be a man. Like, and this and that. And she's always first to pop off. And he was just had a whole list. So I was talking to him and I was like, when's the last time you opened up this girl's door? And he was like, never. I never opened up any woman's door. Like, they get in the car and they sit down. If they want to go out on a date with me, they're going to get in this car. I'm like, really? So you expect them just to get in the car? I wouldn't have got in. I would have turned back around and walked to my house if it was me. But that's just me. That's not you. So I said, how about this? You want to see which girl you should pick. This is what I think you should do. Player points, pay attention, men, women. I'm giving a free juice. If a guy come around, now listen, go and open up every girl's door. And I want you to take the most ratchetest one, the most ghettoest one, the most loudest one, the one you think is masculine, all that. I want you to take her, open up her door, and shut it. Do this the whole night y'all on the date. Any door, you touch it. Any bag, you pick it up, you carry it. Don't let her do anything besides be there in her presence, her energy. You take care of it all. And I want you to tell me how her mood changes. So my cousin was like, what? I said, now pay attention to this. This is how you're going to know who's your wife. Your wife is the one who's going to turn around. Even though you opened her door, made shut her door, she's going to at least lean over to crack yours open so you could get in. If she does not do that, she is not your wife. She's not for you, because she doesn't care if you get in the car. You cared enough for her to get in the car. She should care enough for you to get in the car. He's like, dang, cuz I ain't think about it like that. So, make a long story short, he did this. He took my experiment. He did it. He said the girl who was masculine, when he did it, she was no longer aggressive. She was not masculine. She was more chilled out. He said he couldn't believe the type of person she was. He was like, hey, this is who I really want to be with, even though I want to be with her like that too. But I like her like that. I just never really thought to take my time out to experience a woman like that. Like, I never knew that she could be more feminine. And I'm like, well, maybe it's because you had her doing a lot of masculine work. She got to open her door. She's already opened her own door. She's got to carry the bags of the food. She does this probably every day she goes grocery shopping. If she's single and she's dating you, that means she's single. So she's doing everything on her own that technically a man should be helping her with. So you mean to tell me that when you finally take some of her time, you don't alleviate any stress, pain? Like, no. That means that you don't know what you're talking about. That means you care about yourself and it's all about you. So when he was talking, he was like, I never looked at it like that until I talked to you. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell your story. And so he's a rapper. So he was like, I want you to say that little part that you told me at the beginning of my song. I'm like, because I ain't messing with you right now. But he ended up marrying that girl. The girl that he he kind of had a problem with at first. But he ended up marrying her. And he was like, I married her because she's real. Like, you ain't never lied. Like, she opened up my door. And so she typically does that. If I don't have it, she got it. Like, there ain't no in and buts about it. She got it. And so that let me know who my wife was. And I thank you because it helped me. So you should definitely tell everybody else. Like, that's real. And so if that's a case, now the reason why I said something was because when it comes to love shall be authentic. And that's what I was telling him. Like, if you are in between, like, you need to figure out which one works best for you. But at the same time, you don't want to be playing with people if they ain't playing with you. If you're the only person they dating, then they need to be the only person that you dating. And so you need to express, like, what are you looking for in dating and different things like that. Just don't play with women. Right now, the divine feminine energy is on the rise. Do not play with us. It's not the time to play with women right now, especially like you dealing with a spiritual woman. That means that this woman every night probably cleans energy, clears energy. She's elevating herself to a higher frequency. So imagine you messing with the divine mother. Like, you're disrespecting Mother Earth. You don't think that you're going to receive a harsher punishment? Like, no, you're acting crazy. Karma doesn't skip you. Karma doesn't skip anyone. I mean, but it will come to you a lot quicker and harder because you're messing with the divine feminine energy. Like, we're back on the rise with our energy being at its highest point. So that's all I gotta say. Like, I gotta be very careful. So then I also don't believe in love spells too, because say for instance someone has a love spell on them, okay? And most of the time I always tell people, like, you can always sense people if they have a love spell put on them, especially how they talk about people. It's weird. But if they are around a person who naturally breaks spells, like you could just look at them, be in their energy field, they just break spells. Imagine that love spell just breaks at that moment. You come home and you realize that you do not love this person no more. Just randomly. You don't love this person no more. Like, that's the reason why love spells don't work. And especially if they actually really love someone else. The love spell will only work temporarily. Whoever they really truthfully love, is all they got to do is think about them. And that person, if that person thinks about them back, they break the love spell. So it's like you just wasted time and energy you can get back. Like, trying to make someone yours that's not yours. Like, that's dumb. Like, you're going against universal laws. Like, let it go. At some point, you're not even in a universal flow. So when things start to like happen to you and your life starts falling apart, that's all because you did this love spell on this dude. You was not supposed to do that. You was not supposed to do that. So now you got to deal with the fate. And then sometimes if you try to like do, say for instance, you dealing with somebody and the dude you dealing with, his other half is an earth angel, okay? Here you go trying to do all these Houdini spells on her, bro. They're not even hitting her. Like, really what it's doing is creating ammo to fire back at you. So you're trying to keep him and her apart, and the only thing you're doing is keeping you apart from what you had going on. And so I always tell people that, like, y'all gotta be careful doing these love spells on people. Like, love need to be authentic, bro. Like, I only do self-love. I can make you a self-love candle. I will not make you a candle where you can do a love spell on someone, because that's like basically you spiritually raping them too. Like, people don't look at it like, if you do a love spell on someone and you know typically they don't like you, they don't love you for real without this love spell, then you just basically making this person love you. That's like you making this person lay down, especially if you get to be with them and you lay down and have sex with them. Basically, you just spiritually raped them. Like, how do you feel about yourself? And I'm so funny. It isn't funny, but you got to look at it that way. If y'all do a love spell on you and I didn't have sex with you before you did this love spell on me, so now you got the spell on me and then I have sex with you, and maybe if this spell wasn't on me, I would never even touch you. That means that spiritually you fucking raped me. Like, all day and tomorrow, like, I did not have sex willingly. That's what that is. A love spell is something that is done. You making someone love you unwillingly. Like, you're I don't know you to love you enough. And this and that. Like, bruh, I don't believe in that. And if you do love spells, like, guys, you got to be careful, especially if like they're a mama's boy or if they a daddy's girl or they're like really close with anybody to their siblings or anything, because they siblings gonna know that you did something to them. So I'm like, what's going on? And then now you thought that you had whatever juice you had. You ain't got nothing, because they have a connection already that's authentic. Your connection is not authentic. So every time they come around, they're gonna break it and it's gonna start arguments. It's gonna look like, oh, this person is causing because this is what you're telling this person. But in actual reality, it's really you did this spell and it's not working. You know what you did. And I have seen it on men plenty of times. Like, and I'm like, man, I even had it one time where somebody came around. I'm like, man, they just like came around in my energy and they hugged me. Cause I guess like everybody was like coming around and like hugging everybody wherever the room we was. It was like, hey, it was like a little meet and greet. And, like, it was like one of my friends' parties or something. So I was like, hey, everybody. Like, everybody's like, hey. So I was like, man, what do you got on you? Like, you hugged me, like a lot of energy left my body when you hugged me. What's going on with you? And he was like, he don't know. He was like, all of a sudden I just feel good. Like, for when I was sick, like, I don't know what's going on. And I've been dating this girl and I really don't like her for real. But it's like something just keeps me staying. I don't know what it is. And it's like, it's not her sex either. It's just something keeps me there. I just don't know what it is. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this girl did a whole love spell on you. So, and I was like, so, like, you touched me. I think it just moved or whatnot. And I was like, I really believe that, like, I seen something like leave out of your body. Next thing I know is, one of my friends was like, hey, you was talking, was that you talking? Because like a lot of people, it's a lot of spiritual people, and sometimes back in the day, even though I always been a spiritualist, when I was on my spiritual stuff, I always was quiet about it. So if you knew, you knew. If you didn't know, you didn't know. Now everybody know. Like, I don't care who know I'm spiritual. I'm just spiritual. But she was like, did you talk to somebody? Like, and I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, well, he want to talk to you. I was like, well, click him in. So he got on the phone with me. He was like, man, this girl sat up there and told me she did a whole love spell on me. And she was wondering what girl broke it. And I was like, I was like, what's up? He was like, nah, she want to talk to you. And I was like, all right, well, put her on the phone. She was like, how did you do that? She's like, I want to know how you did that. And I was like, how do I? And she's like, even if I wanted to start it up and do it right now, I can't. Like, I'm under strict regulations, like not to do nothing to him. And I'm like, love spells are not real. If this man does not love you because this man loves you, then you need to let go. You cannot hold somebody against their will because you want this person. Maybe this person is not your person. Maybe you will get someone to love you the way that you want to be loved, but he ain't your person, and you know that. If you got to do a love spell on him to keep him, he is not your person. You know that. Like, and that goes vice versa. Her, him, like whatever. Like, you're doing something that goes against universal law. You cannot do that. I'm not here to regulate, to tell you anything. The only thing I can tell you is that love spells are not, like, I feel like they're not real. If you believe in real love, they will never be able to stay forever. Like, bruh, somebody might get you for a second. But if you actually really believe in real love, they ain't going to be able to keep you for real. Like, it's going to be over. Like, they can't do nothing. And so a lot of times, like, the energy with the planets be calling that stuff out. A lot of people be like, man, y'all going to start to notice certain energy is going to start coming in this planet. And it's going to be like, whatever you try to do to someone, it's going to be like, shh. It's going to be like, you got to keep doing it to keep it on them. Like, and then at some point you going to get so tired of doing it. You're just going to stop. You should have been stopped. Like, why do God got to do that? Like, man, you messing with my sleep. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, like, what did y'all on? Like, this doesn't make any sense. You taking your time out in your day to harm someone. Because a love spell to me is potentially harmful. Like, what happened if this person like really starts getting like, you did a love spell, but maybe you did a little bit too much. So what happens if this person starts really getting obsessive, like, and starts like acting crazy, stalking you, throwing rocks in your window and cutting your brake lines? Like, what? You wanted all of that for a love spell? No, I don't believe in love spells. And that's the real God honest truth. I have never did a love spell. I don't believe in it. If you buy a candle from my shop, disclosure, do not light my candles and do any love spell against anyone besides yourself. And do not try to harm anyone with my stuff. I don't agree with that. I don't care what you're doing. If I feel like myself as the creator feels like this will harm someone, don't do it. And y'all know, like, I'm really soft. For the people who know me, and for the people who get to know me, you know, like, I'm really soft. I'm sensitive. So whatever you feel like I'm not going to allow, don't do that. If it ain't for yourself, if it ain't benefiting you, then don't do it. If it's going to take free will from someone else, don't do it, because that's technically what rape people do. They take their will. They said no. Next thing you know, they enter in their body. You feel what I'm saying? That's basically what this person did, especially if you do a love spell on somebody who denied you. Or they broke up with you. You do a love spell on them. Bam, they come back. They just told you no. You making them say yes. Then you lay down and have sex with it, and this person really don't want to have sex with you. And it was like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know how people can do them love spells thing, like, and be okay with being with someone. Like, baby, you wasting time and energy. Please, guys, I'm telling y'all, like, don't do that stuff. And I wanted to end on the 31st with, you know, like, guys, really be careful with these love spells, bro. Really stop doing them. Pretty soon they're not going to be able to work. The more the divine feminine energy keeps rising, it's not going to work. No love spell is going to work. At some point, they're going to have to do something else. Okay? It's going to be a whole, like, different route they're going to go, like, I believe. Like, I don't think they're going to be, like, doing, like, love spells like that, like, oh, like, and they teach you how to make people obsessed with you. Like, nah, that stuff ain't gonna work no more as long as the divine feminine energy keeps rising. And what she is, she's gonna rise until she's there. She ain't gonna stop. And so that's the one thing I must tell y'all, how I feel about love spells. Like, I don't think that people should do it. Don't do a love spell on someone without their will. Like you gotta have their will to do it. And then pay attention, guys. Some of the guys, ladies, some of the fellas, they do be on a Houdini stuff. Okay, they be doing love spells too, and some of them a little bit colder, and some of them are woke to what they do, and some are not. Some just do it naturally. They don't know what they're doing, but they doing it. But some are woke. Some are demons. Okay. And they will try to do a love spell on you. Like, what the? No. Pause, bro. This ain't going to work. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not ever. I'm cool. And so I think like my core message about I really trying to make sure that everyone hears is like, I really don't believe in love spells at all. Like, I'm totally against it. Not unless it's for yourself. I really feel like if you've been in a situation, are you like resemble like you with somebody you really don't want to be with, but you don't know why you stay sometimes. Sometimes it just might be they bound you to them. And sometimes you got to break free. Sometimes it's a ancestral thing that you got to do too. You got to look at that like, what happened if it was a love spell done and you didn't honor your heart in a past life? And this new life is teaching you how to honor your heart. You have to master that before you leave. So pay attention to the signs. Like, why do you think that you're there even though you don't want to be there? Maybe it's time for you to go. Maybe it's time for you to like step up and know what you need to do to leave. Because like, especially if you really want for someone else. And so that's what I be making sure that people know. If you really love someone, there's no one else that you should be craving besides that one. And people be like, oh, well, no, bruh. Like, stop the BS. Stop the cap. It's all cap. I'm lying. I ain't perping. I ain't lying. None of that. Stop the cap. If you really love someone and you're in tune with them, you're not really going to want to desire anything but this person. And if you desire something else, that means that are you really truthfully in love? Okay. And so if you feel like you in a relationship with someone, but you actually really love someone else. Okay. And this person that you with is like, oh, well, this person probably did a love spell on you. You're like, I don't know. Like, and then you start to really assess like why you love this girl. And then you assess that you love this girl that this girl just told you that did a love spell on you. You're like, and all the reasons come down like, bro, cause she really real. She listens to me like she don't be on that. She communicates all of that. Like I like her for that. Like, then why you keep being with this person? The only reason why you keep being attached to something and not giving your heart what you desire is if someone did a spell on you. Pay attention. You know you really want to be with this girl. This girl done express to you like, hey, I really want to be with you. Like, but you got to be honest. I don't want to put up with that BS. So if that was the case, then you need to be honest and honor your heart because you really love that girl. And every time you think about her, you break that love spell. But that's the reason why that girl, she know you have a sex problem. So she uses sex against you and she keeps you tied to her. You got to understand, like, there be traps that people do. Like, it'd be like, oh my gosh. It'd be like, sometimes when guys and women come to me, I'm like, you couldn't see that? I seen that from a mile away. And then I'm like, take them through a trip. Like, I'm going to tell you your story through my point of view so you can see what I see. And so that's what sometimes, like, when I'm talking to people, like, or giving them advice or like dealing with my clients, I be like, let me take you through what I see. So that way you could see the same thing I see. And so once I give them my point of view, they're like, oh my gosh. you was right. And I'm like, I don't want you to think that I'm looking at it no other way. I listened to what you said. Hey, the first time I did it, one of my clients, she was like, man, if this was a spiritual slap, you spiritually slapped me. Like, you really woke me up. I really never even thought that. And then, like, my one friend, like, she was just I don't know what she had going on, but that's my baby. But she funny. She would say, say this, say that. I didn't know what's going on because I did not know what was going on. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I told her, I was like, man, you're doing like a mini like love spell on this dude. And you don't even realize you're doing it. I really feel like you're doing it non-consciously because that's exactly what she was doing it as. And I'm like, do you know what you're doing? Like, I don't think that this is authentic what you're doing. You know, I could feel like, yeah, you prayed and he come back. And then, yeah, I don't think that's his love spell. There's different stuff that people be doing. They be sitting at the mirror crying. Got a picture of someone burning candles. Got their sage in their hands. Them guys, they know what I'm talking about. They got that picture. Got your picture in there like, save for me. Listen to Bryson Tiller burning some sage. Like, what? I remember I walked into my cousin. He was doing it. I said, bruh, like, he's like, bruh, I'm calling her back in here. I said, who told you how to do what you doing? He was like, well, I know you be saging the house because you be like, you know, this energy in here. And I'm like, man, no. He's like, so I'm calling her back in here. She come back home to me. Like, I'm like, Jesus, fix it. Like, I don't know how you did that, where you got that from, but you did not get that from me. And he's like, nah, I ain't get that from you, honestly. He was like, I really just thought maybe this might get me to connect with her energy or something. I was trying to like be on what you be on, but be all sad. But this is what I normally do. But I really love her. Like, and I'm like upset that I keep doing this dumb stuff that I keep doing to her. I was like, man, just be real. You feel me? Like, be real, be honest. Women love that. A lot of guys don't know that. Like, I love for a man to be honest. Like, you ain't lying to me about nothing. People don't understand. Like, I don't care what's going on. Like, long as you honest with me, you give me the chance to decide whether or not I want to mess with you. I respect you more. Back in the day, that was kind of like my rule. And if you wasn't honest, I'll cut you off. Out of there. No explanation, nigga. You know why we talked already. So, but now I'm like, no. Like, you need to be honest with me. You need to tell me what you do. If you got somebody who think they're with you, do you got somebody who feel like they with you? Or are you secretly married? I don't know. Like, you feel me? Like, I don't want to be in no third party situation. Do not involve me in any third party situation. I don't want it. I deserve more. I'm a whole goddess. Like, you're acting crazy. No. So I will sit here until my time. And that's what most people don't understand. But just like wrapping this up to be with y'all and to just like be honest with y'all about how I feel about love spells. I don't think they're authentic. I don't think people should be doing them unless they're doing it to them for themselves. But for the most part, I really just think like if you feel like you're in a situation where somebody might got you in a love spell, you might do. You might got to figure out who it is. But even if that's not the case, there's always ways to figure out who it is, how it is, all that. Man, just sit back and watch. If you feel like you got to sit back and watch. Stop talking to people. They'd tell on themselves. They would tell on themselves every single time. Like, there's some people, they do other stuff. So you got to pay attention to what people doing. But if you feel like you know who it is intuitively, like you know who it is, that's who it is. Don't second guess it. Don't do nothing. You might be like, you know what? It might be her. But then you be like, nah, but she's too genuine. Like, you got to pay attention to like people's motives. Like, what motive would they have to do this love spell? A lot of women do it so that way they feel this sense of comfort. Some women, I'm like, dude, I be wanting you to get away from me. Like, why would you think? But some women think the way I do. A lot of women think the way I do. I desire a man. but I'm okay. I'm not going to take my time out to do no love spell on you. That I don't believe in that. I don't stand for that. I stand for real love. I preach real love. I love talking about love. So why would I talk about doing a love spell on someone? I don't agree with that. Like, no, I'm sorry. I won't go along with that. I can't be all right with that. It doesn't sit right with me. So that's my opinion on love spells. I really think that y'all need to tap in if you feel this way. Any part of what I said. If you want like personal, like if you want like anything personal of how I feel like you can get a love spell off of you, DM me. You feel me? If you got my number, you know what to do. Like text me, call me, text me. And I like teach you some things that I do. Like, like sometimes you just gotta acknowledge the fact that you in this. A lot of times people don't know that, bro, anybody could do anything to you. Just acknowledge that you in this situation first. That making your brain realize that something is off. And then once you acknowledge it, you can get out of anything. People say you can't. I'm here to tell my side. Yes, you can. Just acknowledge it first, then jump out. I'm telling you, once I realized I was in a cycle, I said, oh no, baby, 2 days in a row, y'all saying the same thing. Oh no. I'm gone. I'm out. What I gotta do? I gotta say something different. Something else gotta happen for me to jump out of this loop. This needs to stop. And that's what typically has to happen. Like if you're put in a loop, you're put in a loop for a reason. Like it's time for you to get out. But I honestly think that being in this love spell stuff, like guys, like y'all, if you ain't got $1 million, why you doing a love spell? And if you had $1 million, why you ain't got $1 billion? And if you got $1 billion, why you ain't got $1 trillion? Feel me? Like there's no reason for you to be doing any love spells. If you're not helping people to like, hey, fall in love with themselves so that way love can find them, then you teaching love wrong. You're doing love spells. You're wasting time, bro. Like too much time you can't get back. And you ain't got no money to prove that you wasted all that time. So my whole theory on love spells, don't do it. Don't do it. And if a person goes to heal their sexual body, you don't want them to heal like this. I'm really upset that I had sex with this person. I really wouldn't have sex with this person. This person didn't put a love spell on me. Like I forgive myself. And they start doing stuff like that. Oh, baby karma gonna come knocking at your door. Imagine that. Imagine that. Feel me? And you could be in a good, healthy relationship now. You feel like, oh my gosh, I wasted so much time doing that love spell on that dude. It wasn't a problem. And now you found real love. And then now here come karma coming to collect. So I thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Pretty Ray and T Show. Follow me on all social media, and my Snapchat. And I just really appreciate y'all for tuning in. And, tell me how y'all feel about the love spells. And if y'all want me to say something else, hit me up. You feel me? And shout out to everybody on my live. Ow. Bow wow. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. It's Pretty Ray and T Show.